When we romanticize the Old West, we often focus on gunfights and outlaws. But the real killer on the frontier wasn't violence, it was disease. And for most settlers, facing illness meant facing it alone. Let's explore what it really meant to get sick in the Old West. First, understand how few doctors were available. In 1860, the Nebraska Territory had only 26 physicians for thousands of square miles. Many communities had no trained medical help at all. Kansas homesteaders might travel 50 miles or more to reach the nearest doctor if they could afford one. Most frontier doctors had little or no formal training. Some were Civil War medical veterans who'd learned through battlefield experience. Others were complete frauds. Few had attended medical school, and those who did receive training we'd consider primitive today. The most common killers weren't dramatic, they were mundane. Cholera, dysentery, and typhoid swept through communities with devastating effect. These diseases spread through contaminated water and poor sanitation. An entire wagon train could be decimated by cholera in days. Childbirth was particularly dangerous. Women often relied on midwives or female relatives for help. Without modern medical care, complications that would be routine today were frequently fatal. Many frontier cemeteries tell the story. Mother and infant appears on countless gravestones. Children were especially vulnerable. Diphtheria, scarlet fever, and measles killed thousands. A frontier parent might lose multiple children to disease. Those who survived were often weakened for life. Daily life brought constant medical challenges. Snake bites were common and often fatal. Broken bones might heal crooked if set incorrectly. A simple cut could lead to deadly infection. Burns, crushing injuries from farm equipment, and animal-related injuries were everyday occurrences. What did people do without doctors? They relied on home remedies passed down through generations. Every family had their own medical book or almanac. Women especially were expected to know basic medical care. Common treatments included poultices, herbal teas, and homemade medicines. Some were effective. Willow bark tea really does reduce fever. Others were useless or harmful, like treating wounds with cow manure or giving whiskey to teething babies. Patent medicines were heavily advertised and widely used. These unregulated concoctions promised to cure everything from cancer to baldness. Most were mostly alcohol and opiates. Laudanum, a tincture of opium, was particularly popular, given even to infants for teething pain. Frontier dentistry was especially primitive. Most people just endured toothache until the tooth had to be pulled. The local blacksmith might double as a dentist, using regular pliers to extract teeth. Infection and complications were common. Native American medicine was often more sophisticated than white settlers realized. Many tribes had extensive knowledge of medicinal plants. Some of their treatments were more effective than contemporary white medicine, but prejudice prevented most settlers from learning from native healers. Mental health issues were poorly understood and rarely treated. Depression, anxiety, and what we now recognize as PTSD were common among isolated settlers. Many people, especially women, suffered in silence. The average life expectancy in the American West was in the mid-40s. This wasn't just because of disease accidents. Poor nutrition and hard physical labor took their toll. Many people were old by 40, worn down by frontier life. Epidemics could devastate entire communities. Smallpox was particularly feared. When it struck Native American communities, death rates could reach 90%. Settlers weren't immune either. Isolated towns could lose half their population to a single outbreak. Prevention was basic. People understood that certain diseases were contagious, but germ theory wasn't widely accepted. Clean water was recognized as important, but many didn't know why. Quarantine was one of the few effective public health measures available. Some frontier doctors were genuine heroes. They traveled enormous distances in terrible conditions, often accepting payment in produce or promises. They performed complex surgeries on kitchen tables, delivered babies in sod houses, and faced epidemics with limited resources. But for most frontier families, medical care meant self-reliance. They set their own broken bones, stitched their own wounds, and delivered their own babies. They made their own medicines from available plants and treated everything from gunshot wounds to tuberculosis. The reality is that disease killed far more pioneers than Native Americans or outlaws ever did. A family was more likely to lose members to typhoid than to violence. An infected cut could be deadlier than a gunfight. This helps explain why frontier people seem so fatalistic about death. It was everywhere. Few families were untouched by tragic, preventable deaths. The phrase, "if God wills it," appears frequently in pioneer diaries, a recognition that medicine could do only so much. What's remarkable isn't that so many died, it's that so many survived. They did it through determination, community support, and accumulated practical knowledge passed down through generations. The next time you take antibiotics or visit a doctor, remember those frontier families. Remember the mothers who delivered babies alone, the fathers who set broken bones, the children who survived epidemics. That's the real story of frontier medicine. Not heroic doctors performing miracle cures, but ordinary people facing disease and injury with courage, common sense, and often desperate creativity. In many ways, it's a harder story to tell than tales of gunfights and outlaws. But it's the truth about staying alive in the Old West.